going to have to get up here because she'll introduce you really quick.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to see all your smiling faces. It's great to see some rain finally out there in our area, right? Yay! And we're so happy you came out today to join us in the rain. I've always said in my travel business and all my years of travel, you know, if only I could plan the weather, I would have the ideal job because I would make sure the weather was perfect no matter where everybody was going. So we want to get started. First thing I'd like to ask is, are there any people out here today that have not traveled with Northland Travel? Oh my goodness. Yay. Well, welcome. And we want to thank all those that have traveled with us in the past. And be sure you pair up with those that raise their hands and tell them how much fun you had traveling with us.
And if you haven't, don't say nothing.
Oh. Hey now. Okay. So I'm going to make a few introductions of our staff. Yesterday we had a couple shows in Waterloo, and I always start with Rachel. And Rachel gets to be here today with us. She is our marketing manager. We rely on her so much. She does a lot for us. All these wonderful itineraries you see, the PowerPoint, the website. I could just go on and on about all the stuff that she does. And she's behind the scenes a lot, but she's so important to us. So we want to thank her for all her hard work. And then coming down here on the screen, the bottom right, we have Suzanne Sawyer, who's over here today. She just got back from a trip with a group to Nova Scotia. Sounds like they had a really good time. So
and Deb's trip to the Mississippi, I went on.
Oh yeah, she does. She kind of travels on several of ours and then guides some too. So she's got the best of both worlds, we think. And then next we have Paula Templemeyer behind me here. I used to book trips for Paula all over the place. She would travel tons, and then she finally just stepped up and said, I want to start guiding. And I'm like, perfect. So she has been guiding groups with us since what, 2020 or so?
Well, 2020
Well,
with COVID threw
yeah.
a wrench into things. But
Yeah, but it got better.
it got better.
Yeah, for sure. And then next on our screen is Merlia and Terry Schultz. I'm sure a lot of you know them. They've been with us for quite a few years. They've got a little leave of absence going on right now. They're doing a little traveling on their own here and there. But we're hoping she'll be back soon, or they will be back soon. And then we have Deb and Jim Harkness. Where'd Jim go? He's over here, and Deb's up here. They've been with us for, 15 plus years, and have quite the following, been lots of places, quite the team there. Jim used to drive motor coach for almost, 50 years? 40 some years, yeah. So he knows all that good stuff. He's a great helper. Kelly, is Kelly here? Did she make it? No. Okay. Kelly Gadarian is the president. They just got back from a cruise not too long ago. Tim, her husband, is over here. She's helps out a lot in the office, but she had another commitment this afternoon and couldn't be here. She might pop in later though. And then myself, Rhonda, I'm usually the one you talk to if you come into the office here or call. So we are really happy to see you all here today. We're going to go ahead and get started and talk about the trips. Oh, sorry, we got to tell you about our motor coach company too.
Okay, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our motor coaches. Most of you that have traveled with me before or with Northland have in the last 5 to 6 years have experienced the Aero coach lines, Aero stage lines, excuse me. There are the one that we use all the time anymore for my trips especially. They're based out of Omaha. What you see up here is the regular full-size coach. This is what we always use. We have very experienced drivers. Currently, for the last couple of years now, I've had Daryl, and he's going to be with us as long as he'll stay with me. And he's going on I gave him next year's schedule here, I don't know, a few weeks ago. He said, looks good to me. So, anyway, I'm fortunate to get him just about every time. And anyway, the coaches are, if you haven't done a motor coach tour before, they're very comfortable buses. You have Wi-Fi on there. You have plugins for your phones or your gadgets or whatever. And they're very comfortable riding bus. And I think everybody, ever since we partnered with them, why we've been nothing but 100% happy. So this is what you will get if we do motor coach tours. Rhonda.
I have to back up. I'm really sorry. It must be the rain. I forgot to introduce Steve Earhart. Steve, can you come up here, please? He is the activities director, and I don't know what all goes behind that title for him out here, but he's in charge of the travel club at Friendship Haven. And so I do the planning for all of the trips that he guides. So I always like to introduce him because there's so many people from the local area that have traveled with both Northland and Friendship Haven. So I'd like him to say a few words and maybe tell about some trips he's got coming up.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We were really pleased when Northland Travel decided to come to our facility. Besides doing trips, they do airline tickets for our residents. They like to go out and see their grandchildren or go here or there. And so they're always great. So they just walk down the hall. So, and part of my job at Friendship Haven is doing whatever the residents like to do. Well, you'd be surprised what they can think of. So as soon as I jot their ideal down, I run down to the hall and I say to Rhonda, I says, now Rhonda, they want to go to the Tournament of Roses parade. Can we make that work? Sure enough, we made it work. So just a lot of the things, we're going to Irma Bombach. How many people remember her and her book? We're going December 5th down to Des Moines to see that. And we only have 3 seats left. December 12th, we're going to a Rockin' Merry Christmas. How many people have been up to Mason City to North Iowa Community College? Have you seen their facility? It is just fabulous facility. And so we do have some openings on that. And this one I couldn't believe. They came in the other day and they said, we need to go to Las Vegas. I said, okay, we'll go to Las Vegas. So we don't have the final plans, but the 3rd week of February, residents are going to Las Vegas. And we're not going to gamble the whole time. We're going to go see the Hoover Dam and a bunch of other things, but we are going to Las Vegas. So it is true. Also coming up, Shamrock Tenors is going to be up at Mason City at Nyack, and is an international singer of Irish music. And the residents love going to Branson Music Fest, which is the 3rd week of April. And what they do is for 2 days, they have about 10 different 15-minute acts from different theaters. And for over 2 days, you'll see between 25 and 30 15-minute segments from the different theaters, which is really nice. We just have to sit there and they have to change settings and stages, but we enjoy it. And they wanted to go on another cruise. And I went, okay, where do you want to go? Well, I found a cruise that's only offered once a year. For 2025, it's already sold out. We sold it out within 2 weeks. We're going to do 9 countries in 10 days. It sounds like a lot, but when you start listing the places like Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Norway, okay, that's like 4 states in the United States. Just add on Germany, Poland, and a few others, and that's sold out. So I'll tell you one true story, and don't be offended, but we just got back from New England with 25 people. And we're traveling around Canada, and the tour guide up there said, oh, we need to take some pictures of Halloween. You should see some of the houses. So we took pictures as we went by, and she says, have you ever met the old Wicked Witch of Canada? And we went, what? The old Wicked Witch of Canada? What are you talking about? And we said, sure, let's go see the old Wicked Witch of Canada. So we pulled up to this house. It didn't have any Halloween decorations in the yard. And I said, this doesn't sound right. And she says, no, that's my ex-mother-in-law. So we got to meet, we didn't see her in person, but we saw where the old Wicked Witch of Canada lives. Thank you.
Hey, Steve, I have some of that. I mean, tell them.
Oh, yeah.
And we're welcome for anybody that wants to travel with us. Just let me know. I'll put your name on the list. No problem. And I do have a few handouts if you want to know about the Rock and Merry Christmas.
And we won't go see the old witch.
Thanks, Steve. This cruise they just got back from Canada, New England. We actually booked them to go in the fall of last year, and they made it as far as Chicago. And Steve called me, and I saw his number come up on my phone, and I'm like, oh no, please don't have any problems. Well, they closed down the New York airport, which was where they were flying into, because of torrential rains out there. So their flights were canceled from Chicago to New York. And I'm thinking, oh no, oh no. So I worked and tried to get switched, a different flight for them to get in there. They were going to have a pre-night. And I thought, well, that gives me a little time. If I can't get them in there tonight, they can stay in Chicago and I can get them in there tomorrow in time for the ship. Well, that didn't happen. So 3.5 hours later, I said, Steve, I'm bringing you back home. So I had to turn around and bring them back home. So they got to go this year. We rebooked it. And so they waited well over a year to go on that cruise. But he said it was.
Non-stop, so we can stop.
Yeah. So anyway, sounds like a lot of them had a great time. So I was glad they finally made it. But okay, moving right along. On our itineraries up here. Oh, I'm sorry. There was a slide right before this one. We have some exciting news. If you've ever been on our website, northlandtravel.com, you can click on group tours. We're switching to a new system starting in January. And when you click view details for any of the given trips that we have listed on there, beside it, there will be a book now button. So you're able to book yourself into one of our tours if you want to, if it's during the evening or a weekend or anything. Make your own deposit payment if you want to, or there's still me. If you want to call me, I'm still at the office. I'll still be there. Or Deb. Yep, Deb takes a lot of her reservations also. So, but we just wanted to let you know that it'll look a little bit different when you go to the website. So, and then the itineraries that you see up here on all the trips, most of them are motor coach trips, but there are some flight trips. So you'll see that little airplane icon on those that involve flights. And if you need a passport, we have the little passport icon on those as well. So, and if you have questions, just let us know.
I'm going to talk to Suzanne. There she goes. Okay. All right. I hate to start out this way. This is Louisiana Cajun trip for April. And the reason I say I hate to start out this way, I'm all excited about this trip. But as of 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, this trip was totally full. I filled it up. So if there is anybody that is interested, I do ask that we will have a waiting list because so many times, especially with this trip being out into late March, so many times there is someone that has to cancel for whatever reasons. And so then we'll get you, we have a wait list. So if there's anybody that was thinking about this, where our wait list is non-existent right now. So you'd be some of the first ones on the list. So if you're being interested in this, why please let us know. What we're going to be doing, it'll be an 11-day trip. I won't talk too much about it here, being it's filled up. It'll be an 11-day trip. We're going to go down to Lafayette, Louisiana, spend a couple days there, doing a bunch of Cajun stuff, taking in Cajun music, go out and visit a crawfish farm, just lots and lots of fun stuff. Then we'll go on down to New Orleans, spend a couple days down there. We'll take in a plantation while we're down there. We will do the New Orleans city tour. We'll give you time down on the French Quarter, where you'll get to visit the open market and all that good stuff. And then after we leave there, we're going to come back up through Memphis and Tupelo. And Tupelo is where Elvis was born. So you'll get to see his boyhood home there. We're also going to come up through, is this the trip? The leader. Oh, I better not say that. I know what I'm getting my trips mixed up. I'm sorry. So anyway, it'll be a lot of fun. If you're interested, why, we'll get you on the wait list.
Okay. The end of March, we're going to do one that's been on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go to Holland at tulip time and see the fields of tulips. So that's what this one is. It's 10 days, 9 nights, fly out of Des Moines, fly into Amsterdam, spend some time in Amsterdam, cruise the canal, which is very interesting, that runs through the city there. Go to the Rijksmuseum, see some famous artwork. One day, well, the Monday, the 31st of March, that's when we go to the Keukenhof Gardens. And that's what's in the picture. That's just a small section of it. It's world famous, it's just gorgeous. Then we're going to go over to the Delft Pottery Factory. If you've ever seen Delft, it's that kind of cream with the blue. We'll go over there, spend some time there. Also go to The Hague, if you're, I think that's where the World Court is, I think. Yes, International Court of Justice is there. One day we go to Maastricht. It's an old historical town with lots of historical buildings and churches. They have a Christmas market during the holiday season, and sometimes those markets are open year-round. So I'm hoping they're open year-round. Go to the Bastogne War Museum, World War II, Battle of the Bulge Memorial there. If you're up for climbing, there's places we can climb up to the sea. So then we'll head over to Luxembourg and spend the night there. Luxembourg, and the city is Luxembourg City. They call it Luxembourg. So it's a small country. It's all the same name. See a famous cathedral there. General Patton's grave is over there. Some scenic drives with rivers and gorges. And then our Northland group will take a bus over Trier, Germany's oldest city, which has some ancient Roman ruins. We'll spend the day there and have dinner and return back to Luxembourg. We'll go to Bruges in Belgium, visit Waterloo, Napoleon's famous defeat there. The Memorial Butte de Lion, that's where you really get to climb 226 steps if you want to. Your option. Some time in Brussels, Belgian bonbons. Take cruise in Bruges. Watch some traditional lace making. And see the famous Mannequin Pea statue. And another day in Brussels, and end with the traditional Belgian supper of moule frites, which is mussels and fries, I guess, from my French, and then fly back home. So it's a 10 days, 9 nights. Go see the tulips and some historical sites. Okay. The next one is Alaska. All right. Then in June, a Alaska cruise. This is, I think we're on the boat 7 days, but we have a couple of pre-nights. We'll be leaving out of Minneapolis, so we'll have a night in Minneapolis, fly to Seattle, have a night in Seattle, and spend a day in Seattle before we get on the boat. And then we'll go take a cruise on the Inside Passage. We'll go to, let's see, where all do we go? Puget Sound, Mount Rainier we can see, and spend time on the ship with lots of places we're going to stop at. The Inside Passage, Juneau, Ketchikan, the Icy Strait, Sitka, and come back into Victoria, Canada. Yeah, short time. We get to see, there's a chance. Butchert Garden. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of the gardens there. Yes, so lots of things. At each port of call, you have some different options, and when you book this, you will have a chance to, they'll give you a link, and Rhonda will help you find it, and you can go see what some of the different options are to do each day in the different ports of call. So back into Seattle and fly back home, and the bus will bring us back from Minneapolis to here. So it's inside. They call it the Inside Passage a lot of cruises. They call it that. So that's the Alaska cruise. Okay. And I think the next ones are dead.
Okay, so then in June of this next year, 2025, and I apologize for not having this done. It's this close to being done. I just have not basically got it priced. We're going to be just going over into Wisconsin. It's going to be a 6-day trip. We're going to take in, one night, we're going to take in the Fireside Dinner Theater out there in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. And if you've ever been out there, that's a fun historic theater, dinner theater there. And I looked it up, and it happens to be that the church basement ladies are going to be doing the last potluck supper there. So that should be a good comedy. We're also going to go out and do the Dancing Horses show in Delavon, Wisconsin. Fantastic what these horses can do as far as they get them to literally almost dance out there. It's pretty cool. We're going to go over to Baraboo, spend a day there. Hopefully be able to take in the circus and see the museum there, which is pretty awesome. We're going to do a train museum out in this is all basically kind of central Wisconsin, and do a train museum and a train ride. We're going to go out to Wollersheim Winery and do some wine tasting and touring. We're going to go over to Oshkosh and spend half a day there at the Experimental Aircraft Museum, which is always fun to see. We've got a cheese factory we're going to visit, and then we're going to come, I'm thinking it'll be coming back. I'm not sure, going out or coming back. We're going to stop in Warrens, Wisconsin, and do the cranberry visit out there. I'm sure some of you have been out there. We're going to go out to a cranberry farm. This is going to be in June. So the cranberries, they won't be obviously ripe or ready to go yet. They'll just be kind of little plants at the time. They're about so big. But the lady that runs the farm, very educated, and she'll tell you all about it. We go out into the fields where they, flood them and have the bogs and all that. And she'll tell you all about that. And then we'll come back to her where they harvest them and make them into all the different things they make them into. We'll go through that. Then we'll come back into the little bitty town of Warrens, Wisconsin, which is probably, 500 people at the most, maybe 4. It's just next to nobody. But they got this really nice Cranberry Discovery Center there. And inside there, it's almost like it is a museum where they have all of the historic machines that they used to use back from, way back when they first started doing cranberries years ago. So you'll learn all about that. So anyway, that's June of 2025. On your tables there, you all should have that little rectangle piece of paper. And I've got 2 or 3 more trips here that I do not have the complete pricing for, nor do I have the original information sheet like this done yet. But I do have pages up here that talk about each of these tours. And if you're interested, you have no commitments, nothing, you don't have to commit to anything. But if you're interested in learning more about this trip or any of the others that I don't have planned or finished there, I should say, please put your name and full address on that red piece of paper there and list down any of the trips that you would like information on. When I have it ready, I will collect that list and take it home, and then I will send and snail mail. It won't be email, it'll be snail mail. I will send everybody in the mail that would like some information on any of these that I do not have finished. And Wisconsin is one I do not have finished. Okay. All right, then we're going into the majestic Canadian Rockies. I'm super excited about this one. July 19th to the 26th. It's going to be an 8-day trip. And I do have the information, the full information up there on that one. So please grab it if you're interested. We are partnering on this one with Landmark Tours out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. And so we've already got 12 or 13, something like that, signed up for this trip already. And it's going to be a for sure go trip. Whether there's 12 of us or there's 25 of us, it's going to go. And what we will do, we will pick you up here in Fort Dodge or wherever your nearest pickup point is. We will pick you up and we will bus you up to Minneapolis. Up there in Minneapolis, we will meet up with Landmark Tour Guide up there. And then we will then meet up with them. They will have some people in that from their company as well. And then we will get on plane and we will fly to Calgary. And with that, then I will always be there on any of these trips that I do, fly trips. I always go, even though if we were working with somebody else. But Jim and I will be there. But we'll fly also and always be with you. But I'll take a back seat at that time when we get up there and meet the new guide or meet the guide from Landmark Tours. And then he or she will direct us through the next, how many ever days, 6, 7 days. And while we're up there, we're going to do Banff National Park. We're going to do Lake Louise. the Icefields Parkway. We're gonna get on one of those buggies, those big buggies with those big fat wheels, and do the Ice Explorer Glacier Expedition. We're going out to Emerald Lake. We're temporarily gonna dip back down into the United States, and we're gonna do Glacier National Park as well. And we're gonna do a Bow River float trip and just lots of other fun things. So, like I said, if you're interested, and the pricing on here, on there, that does include, that does include air, so we're good. So again, it's 8 days, and if you would be interested, please talk to either Rhonda or I about this after. All right.
Okay. Then in August, the 4th through the 14th, we're going to head to Scotland and Ireland. We took a group to Ireland this past June, and we had a long waiting list, so we tried to find another one. So this one is Scotland and Ireland in August 4th through the 14th. We'll fly to Edinburgh and then transport over to Glasgow. So that's where we start in Glasgow, visit famous art galleries, some things there. We'll be by bus. We'll go up to Loch Lomond, have a cruise on Loch Ness. Maybe we'll get to see Nessie. You never know. Anybody out there an Outlanders fan? Watch that TV series or read any of the books? Okay, we will be going through some of the spots that you've heard there. We're going to hit Fort Williams and Fort Augustus. We'll be there. Spend the night in Nairn. It's a beautiful old manor house. It's just, and you can walk right down to the Firth. I think it's the Firth of Forth. Firth is like a bay, but it's a beautiful spot. On our way down to Edinburgh, we'll stop at a distillery where you get to see how they make Scotch whiskey. You get to sample some. And then we will go to St. Andrews. If you're a golfer, this is every golfer's dream, is to play St. Andrews. This is where golf started. We don't have time to play, but they do let you walk on the first green. So you can get your picture taken and say you were on the green at St. Andrews. And we'll head down to Edinburgh, stay in an old manor house there. It's about 300 years old, beautiful park setting. We'll be there. We'll head into Edinburgh, see some of the historic sites there, walk along the Royal Mile, which means you start down here and you walk a mile up here to where the castle is. Scottish Crown Jewels, you get to take a peek at those. And then later that day, because this is the reason I picked the August one, we'll get to watch the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo. This is not ink on your arm. This is a military precision. It's fabulous to watch. They're in kilts, they're marching. It's kind of like if you've seen, in London when they do the trooping of the colors. It's that type of thing. Really neat to see. So we're going to see that. Leave Edinburgh, head back over to, I guess it would be the west coast of Scotland, take a ferry over to Belfast, quick little tour of Belfast, and then go visit what they call the Titanic Belfast, which is this fabulous museum that opened in 2012, the 100th anniversary of the Titanic. And it shows how the ship was built, some of the actual things from the Titanic, replicas of it. Very, very interesting museum there. Head on down to Dublin, spend the night in Dublin. See Christ Church, Trinity College, the River Liffey. Chance to pop into an Irish pub, fish and chips, some traditional Irish music. Go to Blarney Castle. So if you want to climb up and kiss the Blarney Stone, we'll have time for that. Another dinner show with Gaelic Irish roots dancing and music. A jaunting car, which is a pony cart, think of it that way, ride through Loch Lane and Ross Castle there. It's a neat little ride. We'll do a bus ride around the Ring of Kerry with just beautiful countryside. When they talk about the Irish song, 40 Shades of Green, there's at least 40 shades of green in this area. We'll go over to Valencia Island and visit the Skellig experience. If you are a Star Wars fan, Star Wars 7 was filmed off of Skellig Michael, and you'll be able to see the island in the distance. We don't go to there, but you'll get an idea of what was going on there. Spend the evening in Killarney. Another ferry ride across the Shannon River. Go see the Cliffs of Moher. And that evening, we have a medieval banquet with serving wenches, lords and ladies, and music. And then the last day, we fly out of Shannon and head back home. So it's 11 days counting the travel days, but it's a wonderful trip. It's beautiful countryside. I took this particular trip about in 2019, and I've always wanted to go back. So that's why I picked this one to do. But yeah, beautiful countryside, lovely people, and the food, I think the food is fabulous. So that's Scotland and Ireland. And then I think I've got the next one up. Nope, Colorado's next.
All right, so the next one is Colorado, August 10th to the 16th. The dates aren't up there, but if you're thinking about being interested, why, write it on your paper you have there. There should be pens in that on the table. This is going to be a 7-day trip. Again, this is another one I've got most of it put together, but I ran out of time, and I didn't get a chance to get it priced and that stuff yet. So, but it will be August 10th to the 16th. We're going to hub and spoke out of Colorado Springs for the most part. We'll do some fun stuff on the way out and fun stuff on the way back. But mainly while we're out there, we're going to concentrate around the Colorado Springs area. And I've got a jury already reserved out there. We'll spend 4 nights in a jury out there in Colorado Springs. We'll hub and spoke out of there each day. So that means that you'll get to stay there. Excuse me. You'll get to stay there and you won't have to pack and unpack each day. Some of the things that we're going to do while we're out there, we're going to take the Cog Railway up to Pikes Peak. We're going to visit Garden of the Gods. We're going to go out and do the Flying W Ranch cookout, and they have a good cowboy show out there. We're going to do Royal Gorge scenic train ride. And if you look at this picture here, if you haven't been out there before, way down here at the bottom, this is the gorge right here. This is the gorge down at the bottom. And this bridge up here is 1,000 feet down from the bottom of the gorge. And so in the morning, the river runs right along here. In the morning, we'll do the Royal Gorge train ride. We'll be way down here. And when we get to this point, you'll look up and you'll see the bridge up there. Then that afternoon, we will go back to the park. We'll go back to the park, and then you'll get a chance to walk. That's a walk bridge. It's not a vehicle bridge. And you'll get to walk out there if you want to, and look 1,000 feet down, and you'll see where you were that morning. It's pretty cool. It's a neat place to visit. This side of the park, there's park on both sides of the bridge. This side of the park, probably 9-10 years ago, totally burnt down. Something caught fire out there, and this whole side was burnt. And at the time, the plank across the bridge was all wood planks. And the good Lord or somebody was looking out after them, because one plank on that bridge burnt, that first plank, and that was where it stopped. So fortunately, the bridge was all saved. But it took them at least 2 years to completely rebuild this side of the park. So it's a pretty awesome place to visit. So we'll be doing that. We're going to go out to Seven Falls Park, and then we're going to go right down Colorado Springs, right downtown or close to downtown, and visit the fantastic U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum. A lot of Olympic kids, or folks, I should say, train out there because of it being the high altitude. So they have a really fantastic, well put together museum out there. They do for that. So again, that's August 10th through the 16th. Again, if you're interested, write that, or thinking even you want more information, write it on that slip on your paper.
Okay. Then in September, we'll head to Niagara Falls and the historic cities of Eastern Canada. Yeah. This has an overnight in Des Moines because we will have an early morning flight out, and then we fly into Toronto, spend the day touring Toronto, have lunch at the top of the CN Tower, do that. Then we will travel, part of the time we'll travel from Toronto along the shores of Lake Ontario over to Niagara Falls, and we will be on the Canadian side. And I'm a proud American, but I got to tell you, the Canadian side is the best side, anybody that's been to Niagara Falls. you have a chance to ride a boat, probably the Maid of the Mist, down and view the Thundering Falls. Dinner tonight, we'll have a spectacular nighttime view of the falls. So we'll do that and we'll spend the night there. We'll head to Rockport and take a scenic cruise through the Thousand Islands National Park and continue our way up to Ottawa, the capital of Canada. One day we'll have a sightseeing through the legendary landmarks of Ottawa, the Parliament Building, some of those buildings, free time to explore, and a chance to possibly eat their local treat. It's called a Canadian beaver tail. I think it's a pastry. I'm going to hope it's a pastry. Something like a bear claw, maybe. I don't know. From Ottawa, we'll head up to Cap de Madeleine, visit the National Shrine, the Basilica Our Lady of the Rosary, and then into romantic Quebec City. One of the most historic, oldest cities in North America. Have a regional French cuisine dinner in Old Town, Quebec that night. Next day, we'll go to a local sugar shack and learn the art of making maple syrup and have breakfast there. Have a tour of Quebec City. It's Canada's only walled city. We'll have a local guide there to show us around there. We have included for the Northland group a special tour to Montmorency Falls in the afternoon and dinner at an old water mill that dates back to the 1600s. So we'll do that. The next day we head up to Montreal, guided tour of Montreal, Notre Dame Basilica there, the old seminary there, go to the top of Mount Royal for stunning view of the city. It's just gorgeous there. Free time in the afternoon to explore and to shop, and then a farewell dinner in Old Montreal, and from there fly back to Des Moines. So that one, we do not have the air yet. So I think the flyer has the price per person, but it does say plus air. So if you're interested in that one, let us know. And as soon as we have the airfare, we can tell you what that will be, but we haven't been able to line that up yet. So that's head to Canada.
And then another new trip. Fortunately, over the years, I've been able to give a nice following crowd, and I so appreciate each and every one of you that have traveled with me before. It's great. We've made a lot of good friendships over the years. And with that being said, when a lot of you have traveled with me, say we went to Mackinac Island this year, for example. Well, if I turn around and go back to Mackinac Island next year, you obviously don't want to go. So I have to always try and keep my group going, I always have to try and come up with new ideas and, find new places to go. And after 15 years of this, I'm kind of running out of new places to go on my own, to where I have time to be home and research all of this stuff to find it. So that's why I have kind of taken on to make it easier for me and still keep you guys coming with us and traveling here with us at Northland. I try and come up with new ideas. And so that's why I am, a few times, partnering with other tour companies that have fun new trips going. And this is another example of this. And I do have this information sheet up here. It's called Cow Trails and Twister Trails Great Plains Adventure. If any of you went with Jim and I in April of this past year and went down and did the Coastal Carolina trip, you'll remember on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, we had a gal on there, came on, step-on guide with us for 2 or 3 days, and her name was Carol. She was fantastic, and she's got a wonderful sense of humor, and she's very, very educated in what, where she takes us and all that good stuff. So I'm working with her on this one, and it's scheduled for September 29th to October 6th. We'll go out to Wichita, Kansas, stay in a jury the first night there, and then we will be joined by her, and then she'll be with us for the next 5 or 6 days, touring all these different places. We're going to go to Greensburg, Kansas, and do the site of the first EF5 tornado that was recorded back in 2007. We're going to go to Old Cowtown, which is cool, and visit that. We're going to go to the Twister Museum in Waukeeta, Kansas. We're going over to Oklahoma City and take in the memorial there from the bombing that happened several years ago. We're going to visit the Will Rogers Memorial. If any of you watch the cable channels, and you're familiar with Pioneer Woman, Lee Drummond. Her shows are filmed out there in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. And so we're going to go out there and have lunch out there, visit the Mercantile and have lunch there. And if they don't happen to be filming the show at the time, why then we're going to get to go out to her ranch where she films, and we'll get to see that. We're going to take in the oil industry in Oklahoma and visit the site of the first oil well drilled in Oklahoma. So just something a little different than what we normally do, but I think it's going to be a really fun time. Carol right now is out there with a group, and she keeps sending me pictures. And if you're a Facebook friend of mine already, you'll see in the last few days I've been posting off and on a few pictures that she is taking right now, and that will be what we will be doing as well. So again, that's September 29th, to October 6th. I did want to add too quick, Rhonda's back here. After the show here, if any of you want to sign up for any of these trips today, why Rhonda or I will take your reservations. We'll, just come see us. And so we'll do that. So, all right. Okay, it's me again. Get my stuff together here. Okay, so we just got back a couple weeks ago from a little 2-day riverboat trip where we took a group down to the Quad Cities, and we got on the Celebration Bell, and we had a fun time down there. But one of the places that we went the night before was we went into the Circa 21 dinner theater, and we had a nice dinner theater there. A nice dinner show there that night. It was the Addams Family is what we seen, and it was hilarious. It was with Lurch and all them guys. It was a good show. And so then we did that night, and then the next day we went out on the Celebration Bell, and we did some other fun stuff down there too. But for this one, it's going to be it's a 4-day trip, but we're going to do 2 days of cruising on the Twilight Riverboat. So we'll get you down there that day, day one. We'll take you down, and then that night we will do the Circa 21 dinner theater. I'll tell you about that musical in a minute here, what it's going to be. And then we will have 2 days of cruising, like mid-morning or whatever. We get on the Twilight Riverboat, and this will be in LeClaire. And then we'll cruise from LeClaire up to Dubuque, and then we'll stay overnight. It's an all-day cruise. We'll stay overnight at the Grand Harbor Resort. And then the next morning, you'll have tickets to go over to the River Museum there right on the waterfront and tour that. And then we'll get back on the boat, and we will cruise then from Dubuque back down to LeClaire, and then stay overnight that night in LeClaire. Of course, while you're on there, there's lots to eat, and there's music and entertainment and all that good stuff. And then after we get off the boat, we'll stay in LeClaire that night, and then the next day we'll head back up towards home, coming back up through the Amana colonies. We'll stop and have a nice lunch in the Amana colonies and give you some shopping time there if you'd like, and then we'll send you on or bring you on home. So again, this is October 18th to the 21st. Another one of those I do not have the pricing put together yet for, but will here real soon. So if you want interested, why put your name down. Okay.
Okay. And this one is very special to me. And I have been on a pilgrimage to Fatima and Lourdes one year, and then back in 2001, I did a pilgrimage to Rome and Medjugorje, and I have always wanted to go back and wanted to do all three at once, because my thought is once you're over there, might as well see them all. And I looked and looked and looked, and I finally found a pilgrim tour company, 206, that does this. And so I talked to Rhonda, and we made arrangements with them, and we will have our own. It would just be our group. We will not be joining any other group of people. It would be just us. So this is October 13th through 26th. It's 14 days. The price, $67.50 per person. Double occupancy includes airfare. This is all inclusive. The only thing you have to buy is lunch, basically, and any souvenir, rosary, whatever you wanted to buy. It is all inclusive that way. We fly into Lisbon. Spend a day and night in Lisbon, see St. Jerome's Monastery, St. Anthony of Padua, the one you pray to when something's lost. Tony, Tony, look around. Something's lost and must be found. That saint, he's originally from Lisbon, so we will have mass at the church, which was built over the side of his birth. There will be a priest with us. I have asked my local pastor, and he's 99.9% sure he's going to go with us. But so there would be a priest with us. We would have the opportunity for mass every day, rosary, Stations of the Cross, and that. From Lisbon, we will go to Santarem with side of a Eucharistic miracle, and then on to Fatima, where our Blessed Mother appeared to the 3 children. We'll spend 3 days in Fatima. We will go out and see the different things along the way there, the little village where the children lived, the field where the angel appeared to them, the place where the sun danced, if you're familiar with the story of Fatima, have seen the movie and all of that. So we'll have lots of time there, rosary procession at night that we will have the opportunity to participate in. So we have time in Fatima. Some of it is organized. Some of it is free time. Feel free to go to the shrine and pray. There's Stations of the Cross there. Lots to see there. So we'll go there. From there, and that's the neat thing about this one, we don't bus from town to town. We fly. So we go back to Lisbon, take a little bus from Fatima to Lisbon, and fly to Lourdes, France, another side of the Blessed Mother appearing. So we'll spend 4 days in Lourdes. Once again, mass every day, visit the shrines, visit the village, those types of things. Mass at the grotto, the rosary processions at night are just, you want to participate in them, but at one point you want to walk up to the top of the basilica and watch it. It's so powerful to watch, all candlelight processions there. From Lourdes, we will fly over to Medjugorje, which I don't know if you know your geography. You got France over here, where Lourdes is, and Medjugorje is over here in Bosnia-Herzegovina, old Yugoslavia. Not a bus trip. So you fly over there, and then we will spend 4 days in Medjugorje. You will have the opportunity to, once again, mass every day, to go up Apparition Hill where the Blessed Mother appeared to the young children. There is a mountain there they call Mount Crucifix or Mount Cross Mountain. The Stations of the Cross are all the way up this mountain. They built in honor of our Lord's Passion and Death. So you have the opportunity to do lots of different things in Medjugorje. And so that, and then the only long bus ride is from wherever they fly. Medjugorje doesn't have the airport. So we go either into Dubrovnik, Split, or Sarajevo, and then you bus up to Medjugorje. So that would be the bus trip there. It's a very, very special trip. Like I said, it would be just us. We would not be joining up with another tour group. It would be just us. It's a special one they arranged for us. It's 14 days, but like I said, once you're over there, you might as well see them all because lots of people don't have the chance to go back. So if you're interested, and the flyers have very detailed information on day to day. So give you details on that. So if you have any questions on that, let me know and I'll be happy to answer them.
And then we're getting into next year. We're getting into Christmas time already. We leave next Monday for our Branson Christmas trip from here now. So we have to, in this business, we have to look way, way ahead. And so I do have the date set for next year already. It will be to Branson. It will be November 3rd to the 7th. It'll be another 5-day trip. We'll go as far as probably Springfield, Missouri the first night, and then the next day we'll go on into Branson. I don't have the shows yet picked out that that we will be seeing next year. The one that we always do, I always do Sight and Sound every year. And next year it's going to be David, the story of David live on stage is what's going to be there at Sight and Sound Theater. If you've never been there, it's a fantastic theater. The productions they put on there involve hundreds and hundreds of people, and live animals. And it's just, you feel like you're right in this setting. It's quite always the beautiful, beautiful stories. And then we'll do several other shows as well. So again, that's November 3rd to the 7th. Another one of those, write it down on the paper if you want it, if you're interested. And then the first week in December, I will be doing Tennessee Christmas, where we'll be going to Memphis and Nashville. I don't know which order we'll go to Nashville first or Memphis. But some of the things while we're in Nashville, we'll be taken into Grand Ole Opry. We'll be staying while we're in Nashville at the legendary Opryland Hotel, which is a really cool place. The first night that we get in there, we will do the dinner show there at the Opryland Theater. And they always have a star that's in there. Like we've seen Trace Atkins there a couple years ago. We've seen the Oak Ridge Boys there. And they're always good Nashville musicians that come in there and do that show. And so we'll see them. We'll do the General Jackson Showboat. We'll do ice while we're there, see the beautiful ice sculptures that the artists come in from all over the world and carve. And then when we get to Memphis, we will be doing Graceland. And if I can make it work, a couple years ago, why they built a brand new hotel there in Graceland that used to be Heartbreak Hotel and all, whatever it was officially called. And that was pretty old and run down. And so they built a new one here a couple of years back. And it's a really cool hotel. Obviously all Elvis orientated, but it's really, really neat the way they have it. We'll be doing a real unique tour of Memphis. It's not the normal step-on guide tour, but it's a real unique one. I just like you to be surprised. We'll have some time on Beale Street where we'll get to go down there and see the blue or hear the blues and eat some good barbecue. So again, that's another one of those. If you want some information, I will be having most all of this out by early 2025. And like the June, Wisconsin and all that, I will have, and Twilight Riverboat and that, I'll have out here in the next few weeks. But I just haven't had a chance to get it all together yet. Then we get into 2026. And I know everybody says, my gosh, it's a long ways away. It gets here before you know it. I know Steve had talked about how he's doing with his Friendship Haven group a Rose Bowl parade this year. Well, we, again, are partnering with Landmark Tours, and we're going to be doing a Rose Bowl parade next year. We'll be leaving, obviously, a couple of days before the end of the year. I don't have the exact dates on that yet, but we'll go up to Minneapolis because we're doing this with Landmark Tours again. We'll go up to Minneapolis, get you up there, meet up with the group from up there, and then we'll fly to Los Angeles. While we're out there, we'll have grandstand seating at the Tournament of Roses Parade. We'll get to do a float decorating tour while we're there. And if it's the same schedule next year that they've got this year, we'll do a Catalina Island day trip and just a bunch of fun stuff while we're there. And so that should be the dates, exact dates and pricing and all that stuff. I should have by late spring, early summer of this year. And then whoops, we went too fast.
You go back, Rachel. I don't think so.
Rhonda,
Sorry. I thought you were done with that. Let me go back.
okay.
Just
Then-
roll the wheel the other way.
And then I got to get my dates. In July, up here it says October. And I know when I gave Rachel that information, I think I did it wrong. And I think it's going to be July. I'm not for sure. It's so far away that I don't really know yet. But anyway, in sometime summer, early fall of next year, we're going to do the Oregon Coastal Charms. Again, this will be another one we're partnering with Landmark Tours on. We'll get you here, pick you up, and take you up to Minneapolis. We'll fly to Portland, Oregon. We'll do the Crater Lake National Park. We'll do the coastal redwoods along the Redwood Highway. We'll do the Pacific Coast Drive. We're going to go out and do a Golden Sand Dunes buggy ride. We'll do a Portland City tour. We're going to do the jet boat cruise of the scenic Rogue River and just a bunch of fun stuff while we're out there as well. And again, I think, not 100%, but I think it's going to be in July of next year, if I'm not mistaken, or 26, excuse me. But again, if you just want information on it, that's one of those for the paper. And then also in the summer of 26, I'm going to do the fabulous New York Finger Lakes. And this is where my friend Carol from the North Carolina thing, the one with the cow trails, this is where she's going to be joining us again. And we're going to go up into the Finger Lakes of New York. And if you're not familiar with them, they're kind of up in the northwest part of the state of New York. There's amazing scenery out there. You'll see lots of crystal lakes. We're going to do a riverboat cruise out there. Lots of good food and wineries. And so it's going to be a good trip as well. But again, I'll have more information on that in the summer of next year, 2025. And then you're going to talk about these.
Okay, then we've got Hawaii and Alaska for 2026, two of my favorite places. Hawaii, yesterday at the travel shows, I was taking a poll and I said, if you're interested in Hawaii, put it on that sheet that's in front of you and put if you'd prefer to cruise or if you'd prefer to do a land tour. But then Steve stopped in my office this morning and he goes, I got some people that are talking about wanting to go to Hawaii on a cruise. And I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll book the cruise for your people. I'll book the land tour for Northland and you can go on whichever one you want. So we don't have the details just yet. It's a little too soon, but I do have some connections over there. I've got a gal that lived over there for quite a few years. She might just join and be our tour guide for the land tour. So if you've wanted to go to Hawaii, it's beautiful over there. Put that down on your list and we'll make sure we get you the information. And then Alaska, we always take a group to Alaska every summer. And usually we do a land and sea combination. And this year we decided to switch it up and do just the cruise for 2025. And then in 2026, we're going to do land only. So I've reached out, I've got some connections going to try and put a really good land only tour for Alaska, just for something different to offer. So watch for that. And if you're interested, write that down. And go ahead, sorry. Then that kind of leads into something else. I do a lot of individual travel throughout all these years. And if you see any of the information up here and the dates don't work and you want to really go on something to that destination, talk to me because we can arrange things for you through some of our other travel vendors and get you to the places that you want to go. So there's nothing better than being out there and be able to travel and make those memories. So be sure and keep us in mind for that. We're happy to help, whether it's individually or through all these group connections that we have. And we want to let you know that most of these group tours all have an early booking discount where you sign up, put your deposit down, and we give you a discount if you do so by a certain date. And as a thank you for being at our show today, any of those early booking discounts will add an extra $25 off per person. And the discounts that are listed on there are a per person discount. So if you sign up by November 14th, you get that extra discount off. And was there something else I was missing? No. Okay. And then Kelly made it. Yay. She's going to come up and we're going to draw for some prizes.
And again, too, I did want to just mention, I'll grab the door prizes here. But I did want to just mention also that, like I said before, if anybody, Rhonda and I and Paula and Suzanne, everybody, all of us are going to be around. If you have any questions, please come, feel free to come talk to us. And also, again, if anybody wants to sign up for anything, please do, So, okay, I'll get the door prizes. Go ahead, John.
I can run them around.
Huh?
I can deliver them.
Okay. All right, so normally we have like a plant up here and we give that away or whatever. I wanted to change it up a little bit this year. So I've got 3 grab bags here. So whoever's drawn first, they'll have their choice of whichever bag they want. Second, obviously, and then third, the last one. They're all good prizes.
Deb Larson.
Where's Deb? Okay, I'll bring her. You want to take them over to her, let her choose which one she wants? I'm kind of jumping the season there. The only bags that I had at home were the Christmas bags, so. It's better than Easter bags anyway. I'm ahead of her. Okay, who's the next one, Kel? Okay, Dave, okay. Who's the next one?
Joe.
Joe, what's his last name? Okay, Joe Verbrugge. Where's Joe? Is that it? You sure?
Yep.
Well, we gotta find Joe.
Did he?
Okay. His loss is somebody else's gain. Who do we have? Becky Geisler. All right, way there in the back. Okay. So again, I don't know, Rhonda, you want to say anything more?
No, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for coming out on this rainy day, so that's good. But hey, the good Lord's getting us wet. That's wonderful. Okay, we're here for questions. If not, there's still cookies and lemonade and coffee over there.